front door. Let's make him a red dragon. So it came to pass, in the Age of Monsters, a red dragon came upon the dungeon. It stomped in the front door. It comes with a bonus, representing the majesty and power of the dragon with his breath weapon, shape-shifting capabilities, and spellcasting. So, dragons always fight any group that has stolen from them, which no one has yet. If I have not interacted with any groups in the last turn, I sleep and take no additional actions. So this dragon basically lands here at the entrance of the dungeon, crawls into the old orcish treasure chamber, and goes to sleep. Will he sleep long or short? We shall find out. Now the Umber Hulk. Umber Hulk's got a hunt, so this is an interesting thing. So the kobolds have scout. Yeah, I guess that would have to be the kobolds because they're the only ones who have scouted that far. So a kobold is devoured by the Umber Hulk. Now he may form an alliance with a magical creature. Dragons are not currently tagged as magical, but they certainly should be. This is another reason I'm playtesting, is to find out how these tags work. So this Umber Hulk is going to go and pay his respects to the dragon and see if he can create an alliance with him. So the Umber Hulk will be green. The Umber Hulk successfully convinces the dragon that they should be allies. A monster group can have multiple bonuses. It just depends on how they're generated. Like the kobolds don't make plans when they have a bonus already, so they don't end up with multiple bonuses in that situation. But if they make an alliance, then they could. Yeah, that is correct. Goblins. Goblins breed, continuing to muscle in on kobold territory. And now they may bribe an alpha predator, form an alliance with some humanoids, steal from other monsters, or scout. Or they may spend one bonus to exterminate a neighbor whom they outnumber using their goblin power. That is way too powerful, but I'm going to do it. Maybe if the neighbor has a bonus, they can't be exterminated. That's a possible rule. I think that needs a little adjusting. Good night, Bjork. Good night, Zach. Good night, Junia. Have a good evening. Dream of treasures, not of monsters. Kobolds are gone. Sorry, guys. Purple worm. So the purple worm should have an option for how they deal with alpha predators. I'm not going to decide what that is yet, but that's a note for the future. I'm just going to relocate him to this lake. If near water, purple worms can breed. Only allowed once per purple worm creates a new purple worm monster. Now there are 2 purple worms. And then he hunts. Fewer goblins. Finally, the ogre. The ogre has no one to hunt, so he relocates. He digs deeper into the dungeon, finding his way the old dwarven halls, where there are signs of goblin infestation. Yeah, poor kobolds. All right, I'm going to see. Let's find one of the new monsters that I've added, someone that I want to playtest a little bit. So part of what I'm playtesting here is previously these lists of actions were all over the place. It was just like a random, some said they always do this, or they can do that, or they choose one of these things, or if that happens, it was kind of confusing. So this is when I settled on this format of always do something, then if something happens, take a specific action, and then a list of options. And I'm liking how it's working so far. So let's see if I can find a monster here that I have not yet used in a playtest. I've got an ooze. I've got the knights. I've got a vampire. I'm going to do the knights, actually. This is going to get messy. So the knights always start on the surface. They are lawful surface-dwelling humanoids. When they spawn, they build a chapter house construction for their order. The construction doesn't give them any bonuses. It's just base of operations. Let's find a good color for our order of knights. Do I have a good blue here somewhere? I guess they're going to be purple knights. All right, and whoever talks in the chat next, I'll name this order of knights after you. Let's see, we'll use, what color is not currently in use? We're going to use yellow. We're going to reuse yellow. So knights start with no treasure, but lots of population. 4 knights. And a bonus marker. Knights always explore because they're looking for people to fight, which means they will immediately encounter the dragon. They may then fight an alpha predator, fight the most powerful group they've encountered yet, or relocate into an area where they've killed a monster. So basically the idea of the knights is they fight powerful monsters, their numbers may get whittled down, they dig deeper into the dungeon until they get wiped out. They're going to encounter this dragon right away. So here's how this is going to work. The dragon will get +2 to his dice because he's an alpha predator, +1 because he has bonuses. He doesn't get pluses for multiple bonuses, he only gets to use one in each fight. The knights will get +1 for having their bonus. So the dragon is rolling at +3, the knights are rolling at +1. Green will be the dragon. So the dragon has an 8, the knights have a 3, that does not go so well. A knight is slain. I'm just going to make a grave for our poor brave knight. The Order of Star Helmet is. Let this name be entered into the lists for all time. The Order of Starhelm. I really have to run some Dungeons and Dragons over Twitch sometime. This is too fun. All right, the order will be Hulk, Ogre, Purple Worm, Goblins, Dragon. Umber Hulk, that confusing alpha predator. Must hunt. The Umber Hulk doesn't really have any rules to explore and expand his territory, so he sort of waits for people to encounter him. I think it's reasonable to say that he has contact with the goblins who have been expanding into this territory, so I'm gonna hunt a goblin. He's already formed an alliance with the dragon. He can try and drive out another alpha predator. I don't know. He doesn't really have terribly much to do. I'm going to make a note that maybe he should have an explore option. But I think it's okay if he doesn't do much this turn. The ogre. The ogre now has something he can hunt. He's hunting goblins too. These poor goblins are at the bottom of the food chain in a dungeon full of alpha predators. This is so ready for an adventuring group to come in. And that's one thing that I am not currently using any rules for adventuring groups. In the old How to Host a Dungeon, at the beginning of each turn there was a chance an adventuring group would come in. They worked sort of like the knights. They would charge in and kill monsters, take treasure, get killed themselves, maybe escape with some treasure. I'm just not using that right now because I want to focus on the monsters. So the purple worm, of which we have 2. Purple worms relocate. So this purple worm's going to dig down here and, let's face it, attack the goblins from below, eating the last of the goblins. Alas, your bonus marker is no help against being eaten. This purple worm is also going to relocate looking for something to eat, which is going to be the knights because they're the only other thing that can be eaten by a purple worm. And then he's going to hunt the knights. The goblins have been destroyed. The dragon. Fight any group who has stolen from me. No one has stolen from him. He has interacted with groups, so he does not sleep. He may extort from humanoids, drive out alpha predators, or hunt. I think he's going to drive out the Umber Hulk and lay claim to that delicious cave in the center of the dungeon. This is an even fight because both have bonus markers and both are alpha predators. Green will be the Umber Hulk. The Umber Hulk narrowly wins. You know, we think of dragons, we think of Smaug from The Hobbit, who is the mightiest creature in his purview, but there are young dragons too. A young dragon maybe could not take down an Umber Hulk in its lair. Anyway, he's been driven out. He finds himself forced to move off to this meager cave that was dug by an ogre in the past. Not a happy dragon. So it's 8:11 Pacific time. I think I'm going to do a few more turns of this. Does anyone in the chat have any thoughts or questions? I would love to hear what you think of the Monster Age. Does it seem to be flowing? Is a lot happening? Could it be more happening? Are there any rules that are unclear? I mean, I can think of a few things that could be clearer, but I'm just making a mental note of those for the future. All right. Let's bring in some skeletons. An undead, mindless horde. They will come in area number 5. The underground sea. Perhaps in the Age of Dwarves, some dwarven mining expedition fell into the sea. They cursed the gods of light and mining because of their misfortune before they died, and they are animated as skeletons, which only now find their way to the surface. They still have with them the treasures that they bore in life. So, skeletons do not have an always action. That is kind of their unique characteristic. Their default is to kind of stand around and do nothing, but they do have things that they can do. If they destroy a monster group, of any creature that has bones